Today things get weird with Marty Friedman and Megadeth Backstage. Join me as we check it out. It's possible your chops are getting weird. If that's the case, you're going to want to check out my free guitar newsletter below. Free tabs, music theory, tips and tricks to get your playing on the next level. Reach Marty Friedman territory with my full music theory course. That's really how you learn to do things like he does in the Tornado of Souls solo, outlining chords and changing modes. Now, for those of you who don't know, Megadeth made a trip to Japan recently and reunited with Marty Friedman for a couple shows. I captured some footage at one of the backstage meetings, so we're gonna check it out. Are you ready? Let's go.
Band's special issue in '91. They own the
1991 special
You don't
issue.
mind if I rip the cover off, do you?
Dave, come on now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone knows that's the best Megadeth lineup. Am I wrong? 69 out of 69 points for that smile, Dave.
Very much.
Hey.
There he is, Marty.
I brought from this place called Ningocho, a very famous Japanese sweets present for each one of you guys.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
A sweets present.
really dig it myself, so I just hope you guys like it. Each one of you guys. It's this one. Try them now if you want.
That looks amazing. Beans or
Yeah, it's like sweet bean paste inside. It's like a pancake type of thing. So yeah, feel free to dig in.
I'll try it.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Finally, James digs in.
Let's get little squashy faces on it.
Nice.
Will Dave eat the beans, though?
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
So Dave abstains against the beans. He's racist against beans. I mean, the last thing we need is a tornado of farts on stage. Am I right?
That's good. Really good.
Good, yeah.
Makes me sad.
A farting of souls.
Very famous shop in Japan. When I heard Kiko playing guitar, this is a weird analogy, but it was like watching someone have sex with.
I
their
knew you were going to say that.
You knew it, didn't you?
I knew you were going to say that.
Dave is telepathic. He knows what Marty's going to say even before it comes out of his mouth.
It was like watching someone have sex with your ex-girlfriend and doing a damn good job of it. It was really like very strange emotion.
Really messed up, Marty.
As you all know, Megadeth is Dave Mustaine. Always is, always was. But the thing about Dave that is probably keeping him in the forefront,
Looks like Marty's going to start worshiping the shrine of Dave Mustaine here.
keeping him like in people's psyche, so to speak, is the fact that you have this music that you want to get made, and you're always finding the people who can actually get it done for you. And it's a lifelong quest, and it's so really hard to do, even on the short term.
This actually brings up an interesting point. You know, a lot of bands fail these days because it's not built around a central character. Dave Mustaine is a very strong force. Everybody knows his sort of style and presence and temperament, and this is why he can constantly have a revolving door and have new members every album, and we're still kind of following the brand of Megadeth. It still makes sense. As soon as Dave leaves, it's done, though.
But on the long term, it's just, you get my ultimate respect for that.
Thanks, Marty.
And
A man of few words.
Budokan 30 years plus into the career, it's a testament to the music that, it's your music. It still sounds like the first album. I mean, what you're trying to do.
Is that true, though? Does it still sound like the first album? There's definitely been some creative meandering, trying different things. Marty is correct. It's extremely hard to have a relevant band over such a long period of time. Most groups will have a small day in the sun and then they're gone. You know, they just don't have lasting power. Or maybe they have one song that hits and they can't get anything more that seems to strike pay dirt.
It's the same thing, but in a good way. Like AC/DC has that thing that they always keep trying to do it.
Been thunderstruck.
I'm making sense.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing
Dave
that
says
needs to
yes.
be said about this is he's always allowed these great people to shine in the band.
Dave is just soaking in the praise from Marty.
And for me, it was an opportunity to get from the underground to the mainstream. There was a lot of guys who played.
That's another excellent point. If you're a super shredder, that actually is not appealing to the masses. Dave Mustaine gave Marty a vehicle for exposure. Marty Friedman's solo material doesn't do that well. You know, it's more for guitar nerds. But Dave Mustaine writes songs that resonate with a larger collective. And by having a hired gun like Marty, you know, he gets that exposure that he just wouldn't have otherwise gotten.
Better than me. Definitely a lot of guys taller than me. But
Dave likes that. What do you mean you play guitar better than me? At least I'm taller than you.
Gave me a chance to come in the band, and we did some really, really cool stuff together. Mm-hmm. And that kind of got me on the map, and it allowed me to get into places that I wouldn't have gone as this underground guitar player. And
what he's saying is just pure gold right now. Bands are dead is the reality. And if you want to make it as a guitar player in the modern music industry, you have to be more than a guitar player. You have to find someone like Dave Mustaine that you can attach yourself to, who has more kind of mass appeal, or you're going to actually have to become a character yourself, become interesting, and be more than just a musician. Personality, that's what we want now.
Look at these guys that he has now doing the same thing. I mean, these guys are so incredible players.
Kiko's just really like, yeah, it's true. I am amazing.
His music out. And as a result, it's not only his music, but it's the music of all the members. It's, you know, it started with the seed of his music, which doesn't change. Megadeth is Megadeth. You're not going to have one album that's like...
It does change a little bit, to be fair.
It's like,
yeah,
it's going to be
Kiko
Megadeth,
knew that wasn't true.
You get the...
You see that look on his face like, no.
It's like, it's going to be Megadeth, but you get these guys on there. And
Kiko's feeling
so
the beans
different
already. It's like,
from
it's
maybe
going to be farting tornado of souls
but
tonight.
It's still so rooted in what Dave's original intention was.
Hurry up, Marty, you're so long-winded. I got to go finger my G-string backstage for 69 minutes before the show.
That, I think that is the key to keeping in the forefront. And I just want to say thanks for having me. And,
of course.
Officially say it right here.
You're welcome. Yeah. Very welcome.
I can't add.
Marty just waxed ecstatic for like 69 minutes, and all Dave has to say is, you're welcome.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Because I've often thought that myself, you know, because I look at the history of Megadeth. And it really is. I've told you
Speaking
this before.
up, James Lomenzo.
Ultimately, you know, the music springs from your id and goes out and into the musicians. But I never thought about the fact that, you know,
id. I like that.
Certain types of musicians who were open to the experience.
Sigmund Freud psychology reference.
Form. And that's really what it is. And everybody brought like a little nuance that made it, like in your era, you have a style that nobody else has. Right, so his nuance made that special in a very special way, but you didn't stray away from the formula at all. It was still, you know, it was still the thrash stuff that Dave started.
I don't know about that.
When I showed up here a couple of years back,
is Dystopia strained from the formula or cryptic writings?
You know what? This guy is so musically deep. It's almost blinding to me. I love playing with him. This guy is musically deep too, but he's one of the great drummers. I rely on that. I mean,
Kiko
he's the kind of guy who. He sets the beat, and then there's another dimension to the power that he sets.
The best lineup yet.
Right? So the intention is still the same, as you mentioned. You know, the original music, but there's something in this particular lineup that's just a little more pumped up than it's ever been. Which is.
Is that true? Is this the best lineup, the current one? I don't think the fans would agree. I think the fans would say that Cover was the best lineup, 1991, early 90s with Marty Friedman. I don't know if we're ever going to top those days.
It's odd because we're all probably older than, you know, when the band started. So that's kind of cool. And
when Earth started.
But anyway, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here with us. It really is. We were all really excited when we realized this was going to happen.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I just think it's really cool.
Welcome back, Marty Friedman. Well, give me your opinion below. What's the best Megadeth lineup? Is it the current one, or was it the 1991 Marty Friedman lineup, or any other of the 69.420666 lineups? There's been quite a number of them. If it's time to line up your chops and finally get serious, it's 2023 now. Don't let another year go by without achieving your goals. I just started Discord, where I talk to you guys every single day. We post, what we're working on, inspire each other to practice. You also get access to all my courses, tabs on Patreon. That's the deepest source of value that I offer. I know we're also isolated these days, and having a social dynamic and group where you can turn to and just kind of get refueled is really inspiring and important. Link down below. Now I'm going to go eat some beans and play Tornado of Farts solo.